Hi everyone, it's Jenn Martens here. I'm the Superstar Director for Team Superstar Housewarmers I am out of beautiful British Columbia in Canada, but my group is global, so I will be speaking in terms as PRV. So don't worry, wherever you're tuning in from, I will be talking in PRV when it gets to that section. So I wanted to just do a walkthrough with those of you who prefer to have a walkthrough for the 2023 Reflections 2024 Intentions workbook. If you don't already have the workbook, please pause this video and look at the description. You'll find the link to the workbook in the description. You want to print it off so that you have it available so that you can be going through this with me. So you can make the decision whether you want to go through, pause, fill in, play again, pause, fill in, or you can just listen to the overview and do the workbook in your own time. I just want to encourage you to do this before January 1st. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So this is the workbook, the cover. This is what it should look like. So you want to make sure that you have this available to you. Just a quick overview. It's basically the idea here is that you're going to look at your big goals, like your big, hairy, audacious goals for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And then you're going to narrow it down for what we're going to work on for 2024. So we're going to not only do a whole year, but we're going to break it down into monthly targets, weekly targets, and daily action items, because if you don't take action, then you're never going to be able to achieve your goals. And I had heard the other day that it said a goal not written down is just a wish. So that's what prompted me to kind of get started with this little workbook. So on the first page here, you're going to just take a moment and you're going to dream. You're going to put down, whatever you want. You can cut out pictures, you can do bullet points, you can doodle, it doesn't matter. But I want you to put in here like your big dreams. So this could be things like, it's really, I kind of hate giving examples because then people are like, well, that's not me, so I'm not going to do this. Or they'll just adopt what I say, which doesn't make sense because your dreams are your dreams and my dreams are my dreams. So I'm not going to say anything. Just go ahead and fill anything in there. It could be things that are really scary that is like, wow, like it would be unbelievable if I could do that. You can write that down in here. This is not what you're going to be achieving in the next 6 or 12 months. This is like your big, what you would love to see, where you would love to see yourself in your life over the next X number of years. So then when you look at all of that, after you've taken the time to write it down, I want you to look at where it is, what your dreams are. Like I'll give you a tiny example. If your dream is to travel with your family all over the world, then you want to, if that's kind of a recurring theme here in your big, hairy, audacious goals, then you want to break down what would your word of the year be for 2024. So that could be travel, or it could, I don't want to give you examples because people, like I said, they tend to adopt what my word is, and then it doesn't make sense for you because you have to have your own word. If you've never heard of word of the year before, I do want to encourage you to, Google word of the year, get some ideas of what it could be, because I know that one year I actually did adopt somebody else's and it ended up working out to my advantage. It was actually really great. But I don't want to give you my word of the year because then you'll just maybe take it and maybe it's not the most appropriate word for you. So figure out what is going to be your word of the year and why is that even important to you. Okay. The next page here is a reflection page. This is looking back on 2023. You can go ahead and you can fill in your top 3 if you have wins. If you have more, you can print off 2 copies of this page. If you don't have 3, that's totally fine. I just put 3 lines because it's kind of, it was an achievable target for a lot of people. And what you're going to do here is you're going to put down your 3 wins, and then you're going to rate, put in the box here, you're going to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 where you feel that you fell into place in that arena. Okay. So to give you an example of this, for health, I had made an intention for 2023 to be more focused on not only, like, I didn't have like a weight loss goal. It wasn't like I was like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. It wasn't like that. It was, I'm going to be more mindful about what I'm putting in my mouth. So things for me were, I switched over from eating a lot of processed food. I try to eat organic, or as few steps from where it started to when it hits my mouth. So that's an intention that I have when I am eating. I started intermittent fasting in 2023, and it has really helped me with my my mindset around health and nutrition and all of this stuff. I've done a lot of research into things that are health conscious and like what things do to your body. So am I where I wanted to be? I don't know, because I didn't really set out intentions last year, which is why I was so focused on doing it this year. But I would say that I probably, when I look over the course of my life, I probably actually hit a 10. Now, if you are looking at me, you're probably like, Jen, you don't look like a 10 to me when it comes to health. And that's totally okay. The point is that for me, my scale, I hit a 10 this year for my health. And that doesn't mean I can't continue to grow into 2024. But for me, health, I'm going to say is a 10, because I know myself and I know what I have accomplished. So for me, health would be a 10. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to fill in, where do you stand on all of these things? And then you're going to go down to the next page, which is the reflection wheel. So this is actually a really simple visual for you to see where you stand in each of your areas. So for my health, if I had a 10, you can see along here, it shows you 1 through 10. So my health line for me for 2023 would actually fall into the 10 category. And so you could either put a dot here or just like a line, or you could color it in. But once you have taken the numbers from the previous page and moved them into the reflection wheel, you're going to see some gaps. Now, I do want to say it's very important that you're not comparing this to anybody else. Like, I follow some fitness people on Instagram. And so I could look at, there's this one lady in particular that I'm thinking of. I could look at her and I could be like, well, I'm not anywhere close to where she is. And, she's got a 6-pack and she's older than me, and she's totally buff. And so if I started comparing myself to this person that I follow, I might feel like my health is at a 2, right? But we're not comparing to others. We're only looking at ourselves. So for me, my health was at a 10 for 2023. So I'm going to look at here and I'm going to say, okay, where are the gaps that I want to fill? Now, it's important to realize that it's gaps that you want to fill. If you feel like you're at, a 5 in health, but you're fine with that, technically that would be a 10, right? Because you're gauging yourself based on where you want to be, and where you saw yourself at, the beginning of 2023 to the end of 2023. What growth did you have? Speaking of growth, let's look at personal growth. Have you been investing in yourself? Have you been, reading? Have you been watching videos? Have you been listening to podcasts? But not only doing those things, but have you implemented any of those things, right? So where do you feel like you've been in each of these categories? Okay. And this is not an opportunity for you to judge yourself. This is just to bring awareness to where there might be gaps in your wheel. And let me say that moving into 2024, I'm not going to make health for me no longer a priority. It's going to continue to be a priority, even though I would rate myself at a 10 for 2023. I want to continue with that. Okay. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to look at another area and be like, okay, well, I can't be healthy anymore. Now I have to, work on my home. No, it has to, it doesn't make sense to drop good habits. You're just wanting to add to them. Okay. So here, the next page, you're going to look at your review and you're going to look at it and see, like, how does that make you feel? Is that what your intentions were for 2023? Are you feeling good about it? Are there areas that you know that you want to improve, but you're extending yourself grace and you're going to make it a priority in 2024? How do you feel about yourself looking at that wheel? Okay. And then what areas do you want to continue to be intentional with in 2024? And what do you need to let go of? This for me was actually one of the things that I feel like with my health journey, for example, since I use that as an example, things I needed to let go of in 2024 was putting a number on what my success would be. So if I didn't give myself how many pounds I would have to lose, I did not measure my success by a number on the scale. So what I needed to let go of is that for my entire life, the scale has been my enemy. And so I had to let that go. And I had to say, you know what, the number on the scale does not define who I am as a person. It doesn't define my contribution to the world. And it doesn't change the way that people like me or don't like me. I've let go of the idea that everybody has to like me and I have to fit into their version of what I need to be. I've let that go. I've realized that I am going to rub some people the wrong way, and that's okay because I'm not for everybody. And I'm okay with it now. I didn't used to be, but I am now. I've grown a lot and I'm letting those kinds of things go. What people think of me is no longer important to me. What do I think of me? What does my Heavenly Father think of me? That's what matters to me, not what some random person on the internet who's having a bad day and says something rude to me. That no longer affects me. That is not my issue anymore. And so I have let that go. Okay, so going down from here on out, I will tell you that because this is for Scentsy, I originally built this for my Scentsy team. Of course, I've shared it out to other people who have asked for it, but for my Scentsy business, everything else going forward is for your Scentsy business. If you want to, look at those other goals that you have had from your wheel and you're like, well, I also need to focus on this and this, you can certainly print this off and you can use it for other things. But just for me speaking through it, what I'm going to be talking about going forward is all about your Scentsy business. Okay. So looking at those intentions that you have for 2024, how does your Scentsy business fit in? So I want to give you a couple of examples for this. If your goal is to meet more people, your Scentsy business can help you with that. If your one of your goals is to travel in 2024 and you want to take your family on a trip, Scentsy can pave the way for that. Okay, so you want to look at what, and it will, not everything will be able to be related back to your Scentsy business, but some of it will. I know for me, changing my eating habits to eating organic is very expensive. So thankfully, I have my Scentsy business and I can afford to buy those organic things that I choose to buy. Okay, so that's what you're going to do here. You're going to put in like, how is your Scentsy business kind of the answer to those problems that you want to tackle in 2024. What would you like to do with your business in 2024? Maybe you've reached this part of this and you're like, you know what? I don't have any goals for 2024 with my Scentsy business. I'm going to be 100% happy being exactly where I am this day next year. And that's totally fine. That's up to you. But I'm guessing that because you're watching this and because you requested this, you do want to set some goals. So this is where you're going to fill that in, either a goal or multiple goals. I do suggest, but you don't have to, that you have a monthly PRV goal, a monthly recruiting goal or sponsoring goal, and at least an annual promotion goal. That would be kind of my recommendation for those of you who want to grow your business. Those are kind of minimum things that you should be looking at. Okay. What are the gaps that you need to do? So if, say, for example, one of your goals in 2024, you're currently a star consultant, you want to be a director, what is the gap that you need to fill in? You need to hit superstar consultant first. You need to build your team. You need to build up your TWV and your PRV, right? What do you need to stop doing? Maybe you need to stop scrolling on Instagram Maybe you need to stop comparing yourself to directors. You're not even there. And you shouldn't be comparing yourself anyway. Something I have learned over my lifetime is comparison is the thief of all joy. And I believe that to be true. So stop. Maybe you need to let go of stop comparing. Maybe you need to stop making excuses. I know, mic drop, right? Maybe you need to stop making excuses for why you're not getting there. Maybe it's time for you to stop blaming your team that they don't have high enough TWV, or they don't have enough recruits. It's their job is not your responsibility, and your responsibility is to yourself. Every single person who's doing Scentsy is an independent consultant. And what that means is that we work with a voluntary sales force. They don't, if you are currently a leader and you want your team to be growing, you have to continue to grow your team. That is not your team's responsibility. Okay. What would achieving these things mean for you and your family? So why is it important for you to grow to this new place in your business? And if I will say, if you just say, oh, it's the title, that's not a good enough reason. If you say it's for the money, that's not a good enough reason. You need to break it down. Like, what would it actually look like? Going back to the example of travel, that would look like building memories that will last a lifetime with your family, spending quality time wherever you go and discovering new things. Those are the reasons. It's not the money and it's not the title. Okay, so you want to write down here, why is it important for you? On the next page, I want you to go ahead and go through and fill in what you feel like you're doing really well at for each of these categories. So for PRV, for example, if you're currently really good at putting in 200 PRV every 3 months, that's amazing. And that's what you're doing really, really well. So where do you need to have improvement? Maybe you're wanting to get your 200 PRV in, by the 15th instead of by the 30th. That would be an area of improvement that you can do. And then what would your goals be? So either your goal is to increase your PRV amount if you want to be making more money. Maybe you need to not stress out and do it all at the end of the month. Maybe you need to be more intentional with working your business in a habitual way. So maybe Monday to Friday, or maybe you commit that you're going to work your Scentsy business on Wednesdays. Wax Wednesdays, you probably heard that term before. It's a great opportunity to work your Wax Wednesdays and set aside time. Maybe you're going to do an hour every Wednesday. You're going to start building your business, something along those lines. Okay, so you want to set out what are your goals. And then I recommend that you take at least 3 goals, but really not too many more than that, because if you have too many, you're going to get overwhelmed with yourself. You're going to look at your goal here, okay, in this column, and you're going to drop a couple down here. So if the goal is 200 PRV, say every month, or we'll say 500 PRV every month. Okay. So if you're a leader and you want to be paid on your team, you of course have to do a minimum of 500 PRV. You're going to put in your goal here, 500 PRV every single month. Okay. And then you're going to go through the SMART goals. You've probably seen this before. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay. So you're going to break those down into these categories. So you're going to do that for your goals. And then you're going to do a commitment to yourself. Okay. So one of the things that I know for myself is I had to choose to become somebody who stopped breaking promises to myself. And so I had to start making a commitment that, you know what, this is going to be my best year yet. And what am I going to do to be more focused? So again, if you are going to work your business on Wednesdays, that's going to help you be more focused. What are you going to do on the days that you don't feel motivated? Okay. So say it's a Wednesday and you just are not feeling it. What are you going to do? You have to pre-plan for these issues, because there will be a time when you're sick, your kids are sick, something comes up, karate or ballet starts happening on Wednesday. So what is your plan if for some reason you don't feel motivated that day? Are you going to switch it to Thursday? Are you going to go through it with grit? How are you going to continue to work your business even on days when you don't feel like it? I have a little picture behind my computer right now, not a picture, but a printout, and it says, I have a family that needs me to show up even when I don't feel like it. I have it right there in front of me because I know that I'm not going to feel like it every day. I'm a superstar director. I've been doing Scentsy for over 12 years. I would say I probably feel like doing it maybe 20% of the time. The other 80% of the time, I just have to do it because this is my job. And I think if I don't do this, I'll have to go and I'll have to work in an office again. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to work for somebody else. So I know that I have to show up on days I don't feel like doing it. Okay. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to ask to be your accountability partner? Now, specifically for my team, I have emailed this document out to everybody on my team. So if you are looking for an accountability partner, my first kind of rule of thumb is please don't reach out to me. It's not realistic for me to be everybody's accountability partner. As much as I love you and I want to see you succeed, I don't have the bandwidth to be everybody's accountability partner. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to find somebody who is currently reaching one of your goals. So if your goal is to do 500 PRV every single month, I want you to go on the team page and be like, hey, I'm looking for an accountability partner who currently does a minimum of 500 PRV every single month. You need to ask somebody to do one, like who is existing in your goal to help you and be your accountability partner. Or you can find somebody who also has the same goal as you so that you can be working together, bouncing ideas off of each other. Hey, this is what's working for me. I tried this. It was a total flop. So that you can chat with each other. Okay. And then when are you going to work on creating a vision board for your office? You'll see on the very last page here, I have a spot for you to fill in a vision board. I want to say that originally I thought that vision boards were total hokey pokey. Okay. I will admit that. But 12 years ago, I had some team members who really wanted to do vision boards. So I was like, all right, here we go. So had some people over, we grabbed 12 by 12 sheets of paper. They're just scrapbook paper. And we started cutting and pasting. And we put images all over there. And I still like didn't really believe in it, so to speak. But I put my vision board up beside my computer that year. And wouldn't you know, I actually ended up achieving absolutely everything I had put on that vision board. I mean, it completely blew my mind. I still don't love taking the time to do them. I'm not somebody who is crafty or, I don't get energized by doing those kinds of things, but I can't say they don't work because I believe now that they do, because when I do them and I have them actually up in my office, I do achieve those things. Now I have done some that I did not put up in my office just so that I could do them with my team. And guess what? I pulled them out today. I was able to find two that I had done that I never put up. I couldn't find my original one or I'd show it to you. But more my style is something like this. And so this was my vision board for 2012. And so I just printed it out. That was our old logo. But I printed out what my goals were for 2012. And so on here, I'll give you a couple of examples. I have sell 750 PRV by the 15th of every month because my target title was to be a star director that year. Have one party a week on my calendar. Build my team by 3 new recruits each month. Attend convention and bring team members with me. And that was in Las Vegas back in 2012. Buy an iPad for my business, which I did. Buy a phone for my business, which I did. I have on here wear Scentsy success products. So when I first started with Scentsy, I just thought it was really important to be branded all the time. I still think there's value in that. Bless others with the opportunity and thank God every day. So I had all these things that I would look at it every single day. Of course, I did achieve star director that year, which was phenomenal. So actually looking at this as 2012, that was like, yeah, I joined in 2011. So you see today I'm not Scentsy branded, which is okay. I generally do wear Scentsy every day. I'm actually recording this on a Saturday, and I told my husband today, this is the last time you're gonna see me wear this shirt until next year. Because it's kind of Christmassy, but I love it. I think it's so fun. Anyways, so when are you going to work on those vision boards for your office? I'll show you the two that I didn't achieve everything on because I never put them up. This one and this one. Now, I will say that when you put something together, just make sure however you have it laid out, and actually I can show you that my 2024 goals and my like vision board and stuff is just on a piece of paper. Oh, where did I put it? Right here. It is just written out at this point. And I have it on my computer, or sorry, beside my computer, and I look at it every day. But I do think that there is value in the visual of having it like cut and paste or have it bigger than a piece of paper. So I will probably do that as well. Okay, so moving on. Once you have a look at your goals, okay, you want to break this down into a quarterly goal. So a lot of you, I understand, probably don't come from a business background. I do. I used to work in corporate, and we would always have quarterly goals broken down into monthly goals, broken down into weekly goals. So looking at your goals, the goals above, you want to plop in here what are quarterly goals that you can be achieving. So to give you an example of this, if you are currently a star consultant and you want to be a director in 2024, you're not going to put director in Q1. Okay. The likelihood, I mean, sure, yeah, it's possible if you're willing to do the work, you could hit director between January and March, but more likely, it's going to take some time if you're a star consultant, because you still have to hit superstar consultant, right? If you were a superstar consultant right now and your numbers were strong and your team was strong, then sure, yeah, you can probably hit director in Q1, okay, which would be amazing. But if you're a star consultant or a lead consultant, you're not going to hit director by the end of March. And then you're going to get frustrated with yourself and you're going to think, oh, I'm not cut out for this, which is absolutely not true. That is your brain playing tricks on you. So what happens is you, if you set too far out of your target. So I learned this the other day. I do a course with Kristen Boss. She's amazing. And she taught us this thing the other day about goals. And I realized like this makes so much sense. And I had never heard it broken down this way. So you have your comfort zone. Okay. And then you have a growth zone. And then you have a paralysis zone. So when you're setting goals, you can't set a goal within your comfort zone because it's not a goal. You're already there, right? If you set it too big, you're in the paralysis zone. So if you're currently an essential consultant and you joined Scentsy this morning and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a director by March 31st. Okay, that is a paralysis zone goal. You're not going to do that. You're really, I mean, I would love for you to prove me wrong, but it's too far away. Okay. Instead, you have to, if you are, a lead consultant, your first goal has to be to hit star consultant. If you're a star, your next goal has to be superstar. If you're a superstar, then your next goal is to hit director. So as you grow into a growth zone, your comfort zone also grows with you. And then you can get bigger, and then you can get bigger. Okay. So this is what I'm saying by breaking down your goals by quarter. If you want to hit, if you're a star today, as example, and you want to hit director in 2024, I'm going to say, go ahead and drop director down here into Q4 or Q3. Okay. Because if you're a star right now, you've got to build up your team. You've got to recruit. You've got to teach your team to recruit. So this is what you have to be doing in January, is really recruiting and working with your team and doing trainings like, hey, how do I build my team? How does my team grow? All of this kind of thing here. And then maybe you'll hit superstar consultant in Q2 and then director in Q3. Or maybe you'll hit superstar consultant in Q3 and director in Q4. Okay, does that make sense? If you're tracking with me, drop a comment below what you're learning so far, just so that I know that you're following along and you're tracking with me and it's making sense. And I will be sure to answer any comments or questions that you have. So yeah, this is what you're going to do. You're going to break it down here into what your goals are. Okay. Next, you're going to go by month. So looking at the above quadrants. So Q1 is all across here, January, February, March. Q2, April, May, June. So you're going to break it down further. So now you know what your target is. If you want to, hit superstar consultant by the end of June, you've got to do some work in here. You've got to build your team. You've got to build your TWV. You have to be somebody who has a habit of getting orders. You have to be a person who has a habit of doing follow-ups. You have to be a person who has a habit of talking to people about joining your team and doing Scentsy with you. So these are the things you're going to put in here, are those habits that you need to be creating. You're breaking down your big goals down into manageable monthly goals. And from here, you're going to break it down by week. Okay. So you're going to say, okay, well, if I have to do, 500 PRV every month or 1,000 PRV every month or whatever it is, you have to break it down. If you're doing 500 a month and there's 5 weeks in that week, 5 weeks in that month. So if this was for January, and you can see at the top here, I have, this is for you to make copies. So for week 1, you need to do 100 PRV. Week 2, you need to do 100 PRV. Week 3, you need to do 100 PRV. Week 4, 100 PRV, and week 5, 100 PRV. If there's only 4 weeks, you have to do 125, 125, 125, 125. Is that making sense? Now, really important here is this journal self-check. I can't encourage you to do this enough. It's really important that each month you look and you're like, okay, am I still on track to be reaching that monthly goal? If not, where can I fill in the gaps? Okay. Because what I have seen for the past 12 years is that people get to the end of November and they're like, I didn't promote. And it's like, well, what did you do? What really, when you get to the bottom of it, is that they kept putting it off. They kept thinking, well, I'll hit it in December or November. I'll hit it in November. I'll hit it in November. But they didn't do the work behind the scenes to get them moving the needle so that by November, it was an automatic done deal. That's not what happened. They waited until November and then tried to hustle and hustle and hustle. And they're reaching out to everyone. They're like begging people to order from them, begging people to join their team. That doesn't work. You can't do that. You have to build habits starting now, starting whatever day you watch this video on. That's when your habits have to start getting built. Okay. Do not put it off. Be somebody who commits to making promises and keeping promises to yourself. Stop being a promise breaker to yourself. I know you would never break a promise to your best friend. You wouldn't break a promise to your spouse. You wouldn't break a promise to your kids. And yet we break promises to ourselves all the time. I have seen it over and over again with my business. I have team members who tell me, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then when I say, what's your plan? They're like, well, I don't really have a plan. And they don't want to make a plan. And they don't want to do the work. And then they get frustrated every year when they don't promote. Well, you didn't do the work, so that's why you didn't promote. Okay. So this is really important that you do this check-in and you make sure that that goal is still important to you. And if it's not, that's okay. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? It's actually traveling with my family and making those memories is actually not important to me, because if it was, I would do these things. Okay. Now, next page here, you see this is also for you to make copies. This is your weekly priority checklist. Okay. I wanted to see, yesterday I recorded this and it didn't show it properly. Okay. So this is a weekly priority checklist. If you are trying to grow your business in any capacity, if you're trying to make more money in 2024, whether that's, to cover the groceries or to cover a bill in your family household, whatever it is, if you want to promote, if you want to start building a team, if you want to have exponential growth, if you want to hit superstar director, these are the weekly activities that we have to do. This is something I do. Again, I only feel motivated 10 to 20% of the time. The rest of the time I have my checklist and I know I have to do this every day. Okay. So this is a weekly priority checklist. If this is the only thing you start implementing in your business in 2024, you will grow your business. I promise. If you do the work, you will grow. Okay. So there's 2 weeks for each sheet. So you're going to print off 26 sheets. And then you're going to go through this checklist. So number 1 is you're going to comment on 5 to 10 ideal customers posts. Okay. So here you have Monday. You could either put in their names or you could just check off that you did it. Doesn't matter. Now, one thing that is important for you to know is you're not going to their post going, oh, Scentsy would help you with that. Or, I just love my Scentsy business. You should do it too. No, that is not what I'm talking about. If your target audience is a mom who works outside of the household and is, their kids are in all kinds of activities and they're going to and fro, they don't want you spamming them, telling them like how awesome your life is and how they should do Scentsy. However, you can start reaching out to people and you can comment like, oh, I remember those hockey days, or, oh, I know how busy life gets, like I'm cheering for you or whatever. You don't talk about Scentsy. You're just commenting on ideal customers' posts. Give more than you take, okay? Number 2, you're going to do a post on your social media business page. Now, why do I say business page? I actually have 2 pages on Instagram. I have my personal one. When we moved from Ontario to BC, I knew I was not going to be able to see all my friends all the time anymore. And so I wanted to have an Instagram account so they could still see us and what we're up to and see how beautiful BC is, and see pictures of Jacqueline growing up and that kind of thing. Well, that is a private Instagram account. Please don't ask me to follow. I will say no. Don't make me say no. Those are for my family and friends, basically back in Ontario. Okay, so it has not a single Scentsy post will be on that, because that is not my business. Okay, that is strictly for my friends and family. It is a closed account. I don't want strangers on there. I don't show pictures of everything that we're doing. I don't ever post like when we're actually live somewhere. I always do later. I'll post it because I just, the internet is a freaky place and people can find you, right? Which is a blessing and a curse. So my business account, of course, is available for anybody. I want as many eyes on my Instagram account as possible. However, a Scentsy consultant is not my target audience. This is important for you guys to understand. It is one thing to follow somebody who you look up to and you're like, wow, I really want to learn from that person because they seem to be, doing really well with their business. I'm going to kind of follow what she does and learn from that. It is something else altogether to be watching somebody and be like, man, I wish I was like that, but I'm not. Don't follow those people. And a Scentsy consultant is not going to be buying from you. They're not going to be joining your team. They're not going to be hosting a party. Okay. So don't just follow Scentsy people. I have a couple of people who I follow because I'm just, I want to learn from them and grow, not to look at them and go, well, I'm not doing that, and compare myself, because remember, comparison is the thief of all joy. So I'm going to do one post on my social media business page every day. I do have my Instagram linked to my Facebook, so I post on Instagram and it automatically links to my Facebook. In my Facebook, I have the option where you can, if they click on a product, it will take them directly to my website so that they can shop and buy that product on the spot. I have another video, I will link it below so you can see if that's something that you're interested in doing. And actually, that's probably my whole Instagram, I've been rethinking everything. So you might see some changes coming in the new year, but yeah, if your Instagram currently looks like a catalog, you're doing it wrong. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just letting you know that people are wanting to know, like, and trust you, not Scentsy. Scentsy is not your brand. That might be a shock for some of you. I have other videos in my channel that talk about that. But yeah, okay. So have one follow-up conversation a day. Just one. Y'all. So many people are so worried that they're they are fearful, they're fearful of doing follow-ups. If you do one a day, that is 260 follow-ups that you have done in a year, and probably 260 orders. Most people, when you do a follow-up, courtesy follow-up, most people order from you again. Okay, so think about that. The next time you don't want to do a follow-up, I hate doing follow-ups. I still to this day hate doing follow-ups, but I look at my picture and or my post, and it says, I have a family that needs me to show up even when I don't feel like it. And that means getting orders and doing a follow-up. Okay. You're going to post your Instagram story. Now, this is different than you're posting to your social media, because just posting a post, that's going to show up in your grid. Okay. A story is different. A story is a little more relaxed. You don't have to put any thought into it whatsoever, where in a post, you want to have content. You want to write something. In a story, you just talk. This is so missed. I can tell you this from my experience from my own account, because I have a lot of Scentsy people who follow me. And when I go check their account, first of all, it's often private, so nobody can see what you're posting anyway. And they're not showing up in stories. If you don't show up in your stories, you're missing out on a huge, huge, huge opportunity. Okay. When you show up in your stories, it gets people to feel like they actually get to know you, because I'm just showing up as I am. And I am not usually talking about Scentsy. I will be talking about what I'm having for breakfast. So you guys heard I do intermittent fasting. So what am I breaking my fast with? I will show that. I was taking a green drink for a little while. And so I would, talk about this green drink. Well, I don't sell the green drink, but I have a friend who sells the green drink. And so whenever I would post it, I would let people know, hey, if you want to hear more about it, let me know and I'll pass on Mallory's information to you. So it's just a way to get to know people and for people to get to know you and feel comfortable with you. Because if we both post the same thing in our grid, say we both post, I don't even have something in front of me right now. Because most of you are posting a Scentsy item. I don't have a Scentsy item on my desk right now. Oh, well, I have a catalog. Okay, let's do that. Say we both post a picture of the catalog. Okay. And let's even go so far as to say that you're in the picture with the catalog, because you'll see if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at The Scented Life. I am always in it. This is not because I think I'm gorgeous. This is because I want people to get to know, like, and trust me. I want them to pass me on the street and go, oh, hey, I follow you on Instagram. If we're both showing a catalog and one of them is without a face, the other one is with a face, okay? Who are they more likely going to buy from? The one with the face, right? Realtors know this. If you live in a city where they still have benches at bus stops with pictures, it's almost always realtors. They know this because the more you pass them, the more that you see them, when you go looking for a realtor, you're going to start thinking about that guy or that woman that you have seen on the park bench, and you're going to be like, actually, I think I know a realtor. So realtors have this down pat. You want to make sure that you are in the picture. It's not just a picture of the catalog. That is spammy. This, personal. Okay. Furthermore, if I go into my stories and I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys, I just got this catalog in my hand, and you have to look at how cute this warmer is. Look how cute it is. Who's going to get the sale? This person, or the one who is so excited and sharing their favorite products? I just closed the page, but sharing their favorite products. Like, did you guys know that we have these? We have a partnership with Disney. Did you know that? And so you're able to open up these opportunities for people to go, oh man, I didn't know they had that. And then they're going to send you a message and be like, hey, can you shoot me a catalog? Or you can say, if you haven't already received a copy of your catalog, and you don't have a consultant already, shoot me a DM and I'll send you one. You're going to get way more people interested in you and buying from you versus buying from somebody who is just posting the catalog on its own. And I use the catalog because that was the only thing here, but you get the point. If you're holding a warmer, if you show a picture of a warmer from the catalog, wah, wah. If you show yourself holding it, way better. If you are in your stories and you are showing and sharing it, like, remember when you were in show and tell when you were a little kid? When you're doing that, people are buying from you. Okay. And then, so you're going to put in the product here. I put in the product on mine so that I don't duplicate it too often. And I actually do this more often in my VIP page on Facebook than I do on Instagram, but either way, I'll put it in here. Like, what have I talked about, so that I'm not too redundant. So people don't feel like, oh, I think I've already seen this story. So that it, changes the algorithm there. And then the last thing, you're going to invite somebody to join, host, or buy. You have to put in an offer. This might be news to a lot of you, but you're a salesperson. You sell Scentsy. Yeah, that might be a mic drop for some of you, but you're a salesperson. And that means offering people the opportunity to buy, host, or join your team. Okay. I like to use the terminology, do Scentsy with me, because nobody wants to be recruited for something, but they're more than likely wanting to join me and doing something with me, right? So I'll say, do Scentsy with me. And this is what I teach. I always teach, do these 5 things. And so if you only do that, you're going to have success in 2024. Okay, so moving on to the last one is your vision board. This was just if you wanted to do some copy and pasting things on there, or just write it out, or use like bubble letters or whatever. You can do your vision boards down there, or you can do like this kind of thing and you can print it out. But either way, put your vision board somewhere that you're going to see it every single day. So that's the workbook. I hope that you have gleaned some insight into that. I hope that you feel confident in filling it out. I hope that as you head into 2024, it truly will be your very best year yet. And I can't wait to hear about your successes. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video just so it can get into the hands of more people and so that they can be blessed as well. I hope you have a very happy new year. Bye.